Ready.
Little dance. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of BloxFam Breakthroughs. I'm Jessi, the founder and creative director of This Way to Fabulous, and I am here with my fellow season 17 castmate, Shannon. I am so excited that we are, continuing the conversation post-filming. So for anyone watching, for context of this conversation, we are about 3.5 months post-filming. So we have been home from prison for 3.5 months. So we are going to talk all about what life was like before prison and after.
Yeah.
So Shannon, why don't we start this off? Why don't you just kind of tell everybody a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, basically what we had to do 100 times while we were filming.
Yes. So my name's Shannon Melde, and I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm the owner of Sugar and Chipaz. It's a home cookie bakery, and I hope to have my own brick and mortar someday, but currently it's out of my home. This is my third year, but I've been baking for over 30. But and actually shortly I'm going to be starting in a commercial kitchen, so I'm super excited about that. It was supposed to open like a month ago, but it's still under construction. So that'll help me like with big batches and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's amazing. Was that something that was in the works before the blocks, or is that something that happened after?
it's something I have been considering for a long time, but there really wasn't one available like close by. I've been offered like ones in other cities and stuff, but this one is like right down the street pretty much. So it just
You can't beat that. You can't beat being able to walk there at all. All right, so let's kind of get some backstory here. So where were you in, just kind of like season of life, season of business, when you got cast, or kind of like when you applied? Like where were you at when you applied for this?
scrolling, I think it was Facebook scrolling, and I slow this thing, and I'm like, I thought it looks this like blocks. I never heard it up, and I watched it. I'm like, this is kind of like this is not I like went through with all the stuff. I'm so glad I did because it was really the ever done in my life. I'm glad I actually like to like investigate it a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I've never saw I before with the blocks like this is interesting. Yeah. So
Slow your roll for
I,
a second. I think that your
yeah.
either your mic or your internet or something, it's the sound like only comes through every like 5 words. Um
Can you hear me?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. I
Yeah.
did. I went to the 5G just to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's not even a lag this time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's try this again. Let's try
Okay.
this again. So like what season of life or business were you in when you found out about the blocks and decided to kind of like pursue that?
So I was like into my second year, and things were slow. I kind of on and off had like been wanting to quit. I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
really making a lot. It seemed like it was more of a not a hobby, but I'm like a side job. I'm like, I'm not, this is not what I want. And so I was a little bit frustrated in life. And so I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw the ad for the blocks and I had never heard of it. I thought it was like some BS thing, but I did some research and I watched some episodes and like this is really a really cool thing. So I applied and went through all the whatever the little interviews and stuff and I got it and I'm really excited that I did because it was really one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. I told that to everybody. It was like truly life changing.
Yeah.
So I'm super glad that I saw that ad and I did something about it.
Yeah, that you took action. That's
Yeah.
huge, right? Because like, how many people do you think actually see the ad versus
Yeah.
how many people take action on the ad? You
Right.
know, like, and
Yeah.
that's part of business, right? Like that's part of everyone's business. But what was the casting process like for you? Was it like really quick or was it really slow?
It seemed like there's some parts of it like just kind of waiting in between like the different phone calls that you get and emails. It seemed like it took a couple months, I think, if I remember right. But I kind of forgot about it after a little bit, and then I like, oh, you're
Same.
yeah.
Yeah, same. I feel
Yeah.
like I applied in end of January, maybe beginning of February on a night with a glass of wine where my roller coaster was also in the just kind of like, maybe had a glass of wine or 2 or 3 or 5. I don't really know. But I remember I applied for it and then I was just kind of like, sure, right? Like, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
why not just apply or whatever? And then, yeah, I feel like it was a while before I even got like the first email. And then even in between there, it felt like it was like so long in between that I felt like I kept just forgetting about it because I was like, oh, okay, like that was a fluke, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Until the final one. And then you're like, holy balls, what is happening?
Yes. And then I don't know if it was like just me, but when it was getting close, like I felt like I can't do this. I'm not going. I can't go. Like, but I already paid all this money, but because I never traveled by myself either.
Okay.
So that was the first. So like not that I've
So
never
that
done.
was huge for you on
Yeah.
so many levels. Like
Yeah.
so many levels of growth happening right there, which is amazing. And I want to say that you're not alone because almost everyone that I've talked to on this podcast has said something similar.
Okay.
And myself included. I was in a place in my business where I was transitioning and, you know, things were just kind of like, I was ready to throw my business in a dumpster fire 2 weeks before we left because I was just so stressed out. And I mean, I've been an entrepreneur for 15 years, so it's not like I don't get the ups and the downs. Like I get that. But it was a true down where I was like, I'm not going. I don't even care about the money I lost. This is so stupid. All these things. And then the one day I woke up and the first thing I saw when I started to doom scroll, you know, before I get out of bed.
Yeah.
Was this graphic that was like neon yellow. And all the words said was, yes, you can do hard things. And I was like, well, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're doing this. Yes. Oh my God. So what was it like when you found out that you got cast and, you know, do you remember the moment? Like, do you remember like where you were when you got cast or like how you felt or how you reacted?
I remember I was in the house and I saw it and I'm like, no way. Like, what? Because I had forgotten about it. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to like get it the first time. Like, I think it probably takes a few tries or whatever. So, and I got that, I'm like, oh my God, no way. And then I told, you know, my son and my husband and they're like, what? Like,
And they're like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yes. So like, well, I told you about it, but they're, I just remember being like shocked and like, not appalled, but like, I was just like, wow, like, so this is really happening. So, then I'm like, well, shit, like, am I supposed to have like stuff figured out, like numbers in my head? Am I supposed to know like how much I've made? Like, I'm trying, like, now I'm worried. I'm like, I don't think I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I'm like, well, I think I made a mistake. Like, I don't know if I can be on the show anymore. But then I'm like, well, no, calm down. Like, you're going to get taught things and stuff. So, I kind of panicked for a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm totally unprepared. Like, I don't know anything about, you know, this is not that I'm winging it, but it's like, I'm clueless. So
Yeah. In life, are you more of a prepared person or more of a wing it person?
it depends. Prepared like probably like 75% of the time. The rest is like, we'll just see.
Yeah.
What goes.
Yeah. And I'm the total opposite. I am like flying by the seat of my pants about 95% of the time.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny. So once you got there, obviously traveling was like nerve-wracking, at least for us,
Yeah.
because it was finally like that like moment where you were like, you were going, there was no backing out at this
Yeah.
point. Once you got to Tulsa, how long do you felt like it took for you to kind of like relax a little bit, kind of like ease into it a little bit, like this isn't as bad as I like made up the story in my head? That how long did it take you to kind of like settle in?
You know what? So that first day we got there and you get your pictures and your little notebook and you do all your stuff. And I wasn't really in shock, but I was still kind of like, what's going on? Like, I'm not really sure. And then we had the little dinner. And I have a sit at a table with like some amazing people. And that night I was like, okay, I met some people. I can do this. And then, like you build those relationships like throughout the rest of the time that you're there. But that evening, like at dinner, and I was like laughing and having fun. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. That's one of my favorite parts, I think, about the experience as a whole, was just how quickly we were all able to like connect with each other on like a deeper level. Like there was no wall that we had to break down. Everybody's walls were like left at the door.
Right.
And it really was like an instantaneous, like we just started talking. Everybody started talking. Everybody started joking. Everybody wanted to know, like we were all like genuinely on the same level of like, I'm going to shit my pants, but I want to know what your story is.
Exactly. So like I felt not alone because like, everyone else was in kind of the same boat. I felt like to me some people knew a little bit more about where they were in their business, but like and that's cool. But most people were in the same boat. Like they just, didn't have a clue, figuring things out, making mistakes, just right at home.
Yes. Yes. I seriously still talk to so many people that I met there. Not for any reason other than I was like, I just feel like we were meant to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like I am meant to like follow your story and you follow mine. And it just feels that way.
I agree. Yeah.
I loved it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about like the actual the filming aspect and kind of the competition a little bit. But ahead of going there, do you feel like you were in it for the game, or the learning, or the experience, or all of the above? Like, do you feel like you had one part that like was maybe a little bit more of a motivator?
For me, it was learning members of like little groups and building businesses and whatever. Not that I didn't. I had my.
You're lagging again. Hold on.
Oh shoot.
Your sound is out again.
Let's see. Something.
You're frozen. You're frozen.
Oh,
You're
let's see. How's that?
Yep. Every time you do that, it seems fine. Which is totally fine because in YouTube you can literally just like clip whatever out. So.
Oh, excellent.
So it's fine. Nobody's watching it live anyway. So.
Excellent.
Let's try that again.
Okay.
Say one sentence so I can see if it's fixed.
Is it fixed? How's it going? Ish. Okay.
It's not too bad right now.
Okay.
Actually, now it's great.
Okay.
I think it's just gonna go up and down. If I go like this, it'll just be like a restart.
Gotcha.
Redo whatever you keep doing to like relag this, and then we just clip that out, so it's fine.
Gotcha. Okay.
So the last question was whether or not any like parts of the game were a larger percentage of like your motivation to be there.
So let's see. There was a couple, like I kind of had an idea of what we were gonna learn, but not in the detail that we did. I couldn't like. I don't know that I could have gotten that amount of knowledge anywhere else, like in such a short time. So, kind of like my motivator was to go there to learn. Like that was kind of the thing. If I won, that'd be really awesome. But I kind of had it in my head, like, you're probably not gonna win because you probably just aren't. But learning and kind of making new friends and just the experience, that was my real motivator. So yeah.
Yeah, same. I feel like I played collegiate volleyball. I have been a very athletic person my entire life. So obviously competition is something that, it's just kind of in me. But at the same time, I talked myself out of the competition part so many times because I was just like, I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to like meet people. And I want to have like meaningful conversations. I don't want to be so, sidetracked by all the little tiny parts of the competition. Like I just didn't really want to be sidetracked. So I felt like for me, the game was very small. It was a very, very small version or part of that. Are you getting stuck?
Yes. And like, it's not that
Yeah.
Let's see. You were stuck for a second, but now you're good.
So it's me. See, it's me. It's you. It's me. It's you.
But yes, I definitely. But I tried. Like there was a couple times where I felt really good about what I was like presenting. I'm like, I just might win this one, but I knew I wasn't, the best of the presenters, and like there's a lot of more like people that were better at presenting. That's not really my forte. So I did my best.
Yeah. Do you feel like, was there anything specific that you can think of that was like the hardest for you? Or not even like, I don't want to say like the hardest, but like what was the most challenging part of the entire experience for you?
To me, it was when right after we were let go and we had to go do our presentations, that like scared the shit out of me because like, okay, I got all the stuff and all the slides, and then you have like 15 minutes to quickly like put some stuff together, and I'm like, oh my God. And the days where I kind of didn't know what I was doing, I was like scared shitless. So like, what the hell? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, have to make the best of this. So that part scared me. Like the days that I didn't really know, not that I didn't know what we were talking about, but I didn't know how to put it in with what I was doing, like, and with my business. I'm like, well, shit. So, that was like the hardest part, I would say, the doing the presentations when I wasn't 100% sure what I was doing.
Do you think it was the building the presentation part or the actually like doing the presentation part that was harder?
It was building it. It was putting it together, making sure. And I did this every time. So I had it all written down, and I'd get up there and I wouldn't read everything that I wrote. And that happened every single time. And then I would make a note to myself. I'm like, remember, read every single. No, I forgot every time. Like I left this out. I left that out. But
did you have to go like when you did your presentations, were you in the like first half a lot or the back half a lot? Like I felt like we were stuck at the end so many times that like I second guessed the shit out of everything that we were saying in our notebook because I was like, well, everybody else is saying something totally different.
Yeah. So that was, I was either like middle or like towards the end. And yes, and people were saying things that like weren't like I wrote what I wrote down. And like I don't know what I did. I'm like I kind of like just like, okay, just go through with what you wrote down, and maybe they're wrong or something.
Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right?
Yeah,
the first 2 days, I think, were the hardest of that because I was like, well, I need to change what I'm going to say. And then by day 3, I was like, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It is what it is. If I'm wrong, I'll be the crickets on our season when I say something and then the cricket sound comes on, which is probably if I end up being that person, it'll be Money Day when I asked for $1 million, but then I also said that I made $800 million a year. So I am on board with that turning into crickets. If I'm on board with it. Honestly, I'm on board with it. Alden, if you ever watch this, I'm on board with being the cricket person. Okay, I'm fine with it. I had no idea. I was so oblivious that when I sat down, I had my CFO with me for the experience, and she was like, "You did pretty good." She's like, "I mean, you asked for chump change," and I'm like, "What?" And she's like, you probably wouldn't ask for $1 million if you make 800 million a year. I'm like, no, 800,000. She's like, no, you said 800 million. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh no. Yeah, like those
oh my God.
Yes.
And it was Brian. I had Brian that day, and he's just a stone cold face. He doesn't really like it. Like, he didn't give me any like feeling of like I said something totally wrong. So it was what it was, right? So Alden, I'm on board with being the crickets person.
That is okay.
All right. So on the flip side of that, what do you feel like was, I hate to say easiest, because I really don't think that anything was easy about our experience. But what do you feel like you were the most confident in? Like what part of the entire experience, whether it be, the interview filming or the consultations or the networking, whatever, like what do you feel like you were the most confident in?
I would probably be the consultation part. I felt the most comfortable. Like I could ask questions, and they were super open. Like all the judges were just amazing. So I felt really comfortable with all the judges throughout all the consultations, and so that to me was probably one of the easiest, if not the easiest part of the whole thing.
Do you feel like it was also really do you think that which was more rewarding? Let's put it in like a multiple choice answer. Do you think it was more rewarding as a business owner there, being a part of this experience, to hear everybody's different approaches to the presentation part, or like the time with the consultation part? Which part do you feel like you were able to actually like take a little bit more out of?
I would say the consultation part probably. It was interesting hearing everybody's different like opinions to what you should do, and some of them I'm like, I don't know that I agree with them, but then they're the expert and I'm not. But that I got a lot of really good ideas, things that I had in my head that I had considered in the past, but that was like hammered more in my head, like I need to do those things.
Yeah.
So that was a very rewarding part, like just like actually getting that feedback and being able to ask a question and they'll tell me, exactly what, I should be doing.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like, how do you feel about the cameras? Like, did you feel like, what did that feel like? I'll leave that open-ended. Like, what did you you feel about the cameras? Maybe throughout the whole thing, but
yeah. So at first, it was just kind of getting used to them, like not running into them or like stepping on cords. And then after like the first couple days, I think I just kind of forgot they were there. Mm-hmm. Like especially like the last day or two, it was just kind of like you don't even really kind of pay attention anymore. But like it was kind of weird at first, like make sure I'm like not hitting anything or running into somebody. But it was interesting at first. And like if I said, I had to make sure like if I was saying anything like, oh, this can't, I can't say certain stuff, but it got a lot easier to deal with like towards the end.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it was actually really interesting to me. Obviously, I'm way off the other end here because I also film and do stuff, but I was really, really intrigued by how differently each room like did everything, whether it was like the director or the filmer or the timer or whatever. I thought it was so interesting how different a lot of the rooms were with some of the filming, and there were definitely days that felt more like what cameras, and then there were other days where I was like everything was going wrong, and it was like you did your mic test, but then you started talking, and then they stopped you, and it was just this like, well, I don't want to hear about the cameras right now. I want to forget that they're here. Yeah. Oh my God, that's crazy. Okay, so let me pull up this definition because otherwise I will definitely not say it right. But okay, so the like textbook dictionary definition of a breakthrough, which is what we're here to talk about, is a sudden, dramatic, and important discovery or development. Thinking back to your time actually on the blocks, like while we were there, what kind of breakthroughs, one or multiple, did you have while we were there?
So I had several. One especially was the business model that I had in my head for my whole 3 years was a web-based business. Like people are going to come to my website. They're going to order my cookies and I'm going to ship them or they're going to come pick them up. It was like no other way around. I'm not doing markets. I'm not doing this. It was strictly web-based. Well, that doesn't work because like you got to get your name out there. I did my best marketing in like other avenues. But I learned I got to do markets. I've got to do like let's say like MailChimp. I have to like do newsletters. I have to keep people like abreast of what's going on. And I've done several markets since the block. So I kind of knew that I should be doing that, but in my head, like that wasn't my plan.
You needed to hear it from somebody else.
Yeah, I needed to hear it from somebody. Yeah, I
Yeah.
needed to hear it. So that was good to hear. And a lot of like just the things that I kind of had an idea that I probably should be doing, but like the newsletters, like having your customers like interact with you, making sure that you're they're not forgetting about you, sending them out little like reminders and things like that. Just like apps, like stuff to do on an app, like ideas like that, like how to reconfigure my website. Like one of the morning classes, I forget what morning class that was, like breakfast time. But so I fixed that. Just so many things. I'm like, well, shit. So I should just implement these. So
Yeah.
slowly, yeah. So it was very eye-opening. And sometimes it was like depressing because I'm like, I've been doing this, like sometimes I would go back to the room and be like, I wasted all this time, all these years, like doing it the wrong way. But then if you don't make a mistake, then you can't learn from it. So I guess it's a good thing. But a lot of nights I would go back to the room and just be like, oh, what was I doing? Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah. But you're not alone there either because every single one of us and every single one of us entrepreneurs that was not a part of this experience constantly do that. And that's part of it, right? Is growing personally so that you can overcome those mindsets of, you know, the downward spiral versus the upward spiral. So what about after you came home? So we've been home now for about 3.5 months. Yeah. Have you had any additional breakthroughs since you've been home with, you know, upon having updated and implemented some of those things? What kind of breakthroughs have you had since then?
I can't think of anything specific other than the markets have been probably one of the best things that I've done because I've met a ton of people. I've had more customers since then because they all have my information. It was probably one of hindsight, it was one of the best things that I've probably done for my business. So that it implements. So I got this like kick-ass tent. It's super amazing, and I love it. It's like I'm super proud of it. So when I put it up like that, that's like, you know, it makes me proud. But that probably the markets alone are probably one of the best things that I could have done.
Yeah. Are these markets business to consumer or are they business to business?
Business to consumer. So it's like where was I at? It was like a fall fest, and it was a smaller one, but like the ones coming up are going to be bigger. So it's just kind of getting your name out there, which I thought I was doing, you know, but this way is a lot better. So I should have been doing it.
And I mean, you know, don't forget to utilize those events as business to business as well. So like make sure you know how many vendors are going to be there. Have like a singular cookie with a business card or something give one to every vendor that is there.
Smart idea.
Get your name out there with the other businesses, because you never know when another business is going to need a vendor to be able to do something like this for their clients, or maybe they're having a client party. I mean, I'm immediately sitting here like, okay, so what can I use these cookies for? What can I order cookies for? I know I have my summits, I have my workshops, I have all these things that I love to do for my clients, for like my customers, but I still need someone to, give me the thing to give to my customer, right? So don't ever forget to also mingle with the other business owners.
That's such a good idea.
Girl, that you're going to get, that's the gold right there. Because not only do they maybe need you, but they might have a customer or client who needs you. And then you start to really like churn, your name starts to really kind of churn in there. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. I'll do that. I'll make little special bags for them, little like PR bags.
Yeah, like just make sure there's like a business card in there, or like something in there that is like, hey, let's get together, or like let's, because it could even be like, I'm assuming all these vendors are local, right?
Yeah.
So it could even be a like if you have a business card or like a little card in there with a QR code that says like, hey, want to collab on an event or something? Open the conversation to be able to collaborate with people, because now you might get, like, they might bring you into an opportunity that they had because they were like, oh, this makes a good, like, this could be a good fit. Right. So even business to consumer, make sure you are still marketing business to business.
I love that. I didn't even think of that.
Yes. Ooh, girlfriend. Plus, you have the personality, so it's like, just like go up and talk to these people and be like, here, I hope you had it. Like, if it's in the beginning, I would probably do it in the beginning or the end. I guess I'm not sure. You can maybe toy with that, but be like, I hope you guys had a fantastic sales day today. I just wanted to kind of bring you guys a little present, or maybe it's in the beginning of the day. Like, I hope you guys have a fantastic sales day today. It's great to meet you.
That's a really good idea. I love that. Thank you.
Got you, girl. Got you, girl. Lucky for you, I can't turn that brain off. So as soon as someone starts like talking about something like that, I'm like, well, how about you try this?
No, I love that. I love how your brain works.
Some people are like, just shut up already. I'm like, okay.
No, I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I know what your answer is going to be, but I'm still going to ask this. Okay. So after having this experience, you've been an entrepreneur before the experience, you're still an entrepreneur after the experience. What is like one major piece of advice that you would give to another entrepreneur who is either maybe they're just starting out, or maybe they're in that low part of the roller coaster where they're ready to just throw it all away? What is one either thing you would tell them or piece of advice that you would give them?
So, to be honest, I recommend TheBlox to everybody. So, like, and I know not everyone can afford to be on it or whatever, but like, just download the app, like, watch the show, because there's so much amazing information out there. Just like people ask me, like, what do you do? Like, you kind of just have to go out there and do it. Like, you kind of have to make mistakes. Like, that's how you learn. Even if somebody would have told me to do it. People always told me to do it, like do markets, and I said no until like I learned the hard way. So you just have to try things. You have to educate yourself. Just be fearless and just do it and have no regrets. Like, I have enough in my life. I'm not having any more regrets of my life. So just go where your dreams take you and do it. But I highly recommend TheBlox, watching TheBlox. Watching the show on Amazon or whatever, Prime, whatever they call it, but or just have the app. Just, it's so informational. There's so many things you can learn. It's an amazing wealth of info.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned the app, actually, because for those of you who might be watching who maybe like this is, you just heard about TheBlox because our season came out and you're listening to some of these, but if you haven't heard of TheBlox, or maybe you have, but you've just been, I don't know, like, download the app. Like she said, there is so much information on there, like free information, and you can watch the episodes, and like something for people to understand who weren't a part of the experience. The seasons are meant to basically teach you, the viewer, through the eyes of whoever was cast. So like, it's not like we necessarily got like way more secret information that they don't share on the episodes. We truly don't. Like, what is shown on the episodes is the actual content that we are learning and applying while we're there. But it's maybe even easier for, you know, the viewer to learn some of these things because they're learning through us,
Right.
because they're learning through people who, like, a variety of people who, some have a very good idea of what's going on in this topic and some have no idea what's going on in this topic.
Yeah.
And like, it makes it relatable for like everyone. So seriously, anyone watching this, whether you were a part of the Blox or not, the app is absolutely a fantastic tool for any business owner. And truly, if you were on the Blox and you don't have the app, shame on you, because there is so much more information on there than we even learned while we were there. And tis tis, because Wes might just come in like poof.
Yeah. No, but it's like it's if I could go back on, I would. But
they sadly stopped that.
I
before
know.
our season. They were letting people go on multiple seasons. And actually, our season was the last time that anyone got to go on it again. And that was Christine, who was a part of season 1. And season 1 to season 17 were wildly different. Like, the entire thing was different.
Yeah.
But he did tell us that there is no more like people coming back. Instead, there are multiple tiers for us to kind of grow up into, which I think is fantastic and genius on his end from a business level. So
Yeah. I agree.
Are there any other major like transformations or takeaways that you feel like you're taking away from the experience in general?
From the Blox experience? It's just, to me, when I got home, it was a super, like I took a week off, like I totally, like a decompressing week. Like, my brain could not take any more info, and I'm sure there's some people went right back at it when they got home. But like,
I went if by right back at it, you mean going to sleep on the couch for a week? That's what I got back to.
Yeah, so like, honestly, like, there's so much like info that we got. Like, seriously, gotta like soak it in. But it was a life-changing. It was a life-changing experience. Like the friendships that were made, the people that we met, the everything you learned. It was a totally life-changing experience, and I'm really sad that you can't do it again. But I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I'm so glad that that I did it, and I didn't like drop out like the last minute, like I kind of
didn't
chumps.
No chumps.
Like, no, I can't do it.
Okay, I'm going to ask this a little bit deeper aspect of what I just asked you, but do you feel like you took more growth out of the experience on a personal level or on a business level? There really is no wrong answer.
You know what, to be honest with you, that's a good question. I want to say half and half, but I know that's not true. It's probably more personal. I learned kind of a lot about myself, talking in front of a camera, like repeatedly having to say the same things, like introduce your little spiel or whatever. But I learned a lot, like how to not conduct myself. That sounds silly, but I just learned a lot about myself, like what I can do, what I thought. Like, I stepped outside my comfort zone. I traveled by myself. I went to be on a reality show that I had no freaking idea, you know. So I learned. I learned a lot about what I can do, like if I put my mind to it. So and I learned a lot business wise too. But I learned that I'm, pretty tough. And I can do like you said, get shit done. I can get shit done.
I love that. And I wish I would have started asking this question earlier in the podcast, like earlier in filming with other people, because I think that I've realized over the course of talking to a lot of people that I also feel as though I pulled more of a personal growth than business growth, but they go hand in hand, right? Like, it's a hard question because really they go hand in hand, because as we grow as people, as business owners, our businesses are also going to thrive. But if I think about, the specifics of maybe like what we learned, maybe I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, so I knew the gist of a lot of these things, not necessarily the depth, but
Right.
I feel like I was able to personally really just like think differently, think wider, think of other perspectives, not be so narrow-minded. I mean, that was the first lesson I learned with day one of the presentations, because it was like I interpreted that question so fucking different.
I know, huh? It's funny, like everyone's got something different, like, oh my God, what's going on here?
There was one day where I had to go back on my phone and look at the picture, because I was like, maybe I read it wrong. Like, I was like, this does not make any sense. Why would this person answer like this? And it wasn't that anyone was wrong. It was literally just that we had all like perceived the question differently, and we all processed the question differently, and we all like regurgitated our answer differently. And it was wild. And I think that helps from a business standpoint, but it was like more of a personal thing for me of just like every aspect of my life. And so I truly, truly encourage anybody out there who has some kind of opportunity. Maybe it's not TheBlox, but like any kind of opportunity that you feel like is hard, or you feel yourself resisting because you're kind of like, I don't know, like do the damn thing.
Right.
Like just turn off your brain and go do the damn thing, because more than anything, you will learn and grow so freaking much.
Yeah.
Like so freaking much.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I got that tickle. It's that fall tickle.
Yeah.
All right, so I love to end this with a little bit of rapid fire. I think it's just really fun to kind of ask a bunch of random questions and kind of like get to know everybody a little bit on a more personal level. So, okay, question number 1 is going to be, what is your guilty pleasure TV show?
Probably American Horror Story.
Ooh.
I rewatch them all the time on like Amazon Prime.
Oh, and are you someone that like watches TV in the background versus like not necessarily like sitting down to watch, but like do you have a show on while you're baking?
So it's usually music when I'm baking.
Okay.
I always have music, but pretty much always like if I'm cleaning, doing something at home, there's always something in the background going.
Do you have kids?
My daughter, she passed away 2 years ago, but I have a son, he's 13. So
does he like to just like watch stuff? Like is stuff like my 7-year-old, I feel like the TV's just always on and he's never really watching it, but
you know what? Yes, as he's 13, so he's a little older, so it's not quite as like he always had the TV on too, but it's a lot of video games, or he's like watching his phone, or he plays golf or guitar.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, we're really into Minecraft right now. By we, I mean my son and not me.
Yeah.
Because I want nothing to do with Minecraft right now.
I never understood that. Like, it just looked very, I don't know.
It's just not for me. He's like, I'll teach you. And then he's like yelling at me the whole time. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like this. I don't like this. You can play by yourself. It's fine.
Yeah. Like, I'm used to the Nintendo, like old Nintendo remotes with a couple buttons. My son's like, has like, you know, the Xbox with all these things. I'm like,
there's like 30 buttons.
Yeah.
I don't,
really
what?
No.
This is a keyboard. This isn't a remote.
No.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. Okay. Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I used to be a night owl, but I'm an early bird now.
Yeah. Is that like when you get your shit done?
It's when I get my stuff done, and I love quiet time and coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
It's totally changed since I've been like I used to be up, but now like it's 7:00 and I've had it. I want to go to bed, but so I am more of an early bird.
Yeah. Cool. So you mentioned coffee. You like coffee or tea? Do you prefer one over the other?
I like coffee. I like iced tea, but coffee's my thing. Hot.
How do you drink it?
Hotter. In the morning when I'm at home, I have it like hot, but I usually like go to the coffee shop and get another iced coffee.
Like what color is it? Is it like
Oh my
black
God,
or
I'm
is it
super
like?
picky. So, I'm so damn picky. I love strong coffee and I like a little cream, so it has to be like the perfect color. It's very funny. My kids won't think it's funny, but like if they hand it to me and it's not the right color, it's just not that it ruins my day, but you know.
But it does.
Yes, it does. Like it pisses me off. I'm like, no. And I'm not that one that like hands it back to them and has whatever. I'll just like deal with it. But like, I just don't like the color of that.
Especially when it's iced and you can see the color.
Yeah, like you shouldn't see through coffee. Like it should be, you know. I like it pretty dark.
So you're like coffee with a little bit of cream, not the like cream with a little bit of coffee. Got
it. Like white colored. It's like brown, little white.
Yes, I love it. Okay, last question, and this isn't really as personal, but it might be kind of tricky. What is one word, maybe two, but one word, that you would use to describe your entrepreneurial journey so far? Like up until now.
Ooh. I would say bizarre.
Ooh.
Because it's been, and I guess in a good way, just the things from like when I first started, like, so I got everything ready to go, website and this and that. And then I didn't even think about the advertising part or the marketing part or any of that. Like, wow. It's just so all the things that you learn along the way, you make mistakes, and like it's just been it's been a weird journey. I would say just bizarre. Like it's an odd journey. Like the people that I like come into contact with, they're like customers, and it's a little strange sometimes, but it's a crazy fun thing.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
It's interesting. I get some weird. I'm sure every business does, but like I get some odd people, you know.
I was in the wedding industry for 10 years, and I can tell you there are plenty of weird people out there.
Yeah, especially like when you're dealing with weddings and stuff. I can only imagine.
Yeah, and everyone assumes that it's like, oh, how many, like, what's your best bridezilla story? I'm like, let me tell you about my best momzilla story, because I had way more momzillas than I had bridezillas. We won't go into that now, but
I'm sure you could write a book about that.
Yeah, it's we live in a wild world.
Yeah, we do. Like I just like all the people that I've met. I'm like, wow, people are strange, but you know.
And then you're like, universe, what did you want me to take out of that?
You know, sometimes it just makes me wonder, like, keeps me on my toes.
Like, what did I do wrong today that you are punishing me? Why? Why?
I don't get it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, Shannon, thank you so much for taking the time today to sit with me and just kind of chat about our time and, you know, really kind of dig deeper into what it's like to be an entrepreneur and go through some of the breakthroughs, because I think it's really important that we kind of pay it forward as entrepreneurs too, to, you know, kind of let people know what it's like. I think we live in a world where like entrepreneurship is like this thing where everyone's like, oh yeah, sure, I want that. Like it's a shiny object, and truly more people than not are like not meant to be entrepreneurs. It's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. It's a very weird journey, as we just spoke about. Like, it is a very weird journey. It is a very hard journey. It is a very personal journey. It is not as simple as, you know, money in, money out, all of those things. It is so much more than that. So thank you so much for, you know, being vulnerable and talking about a lot of that stuff with me. So two things. One, if anybody's like vibing with you, maybe they live by you, what is the best way for them to kind of like get in touch with you? Because maybe there's some business owners out here who are watching and want to collab with you for something for their clients, right? Yeah. And then number two is, where the hell can we get some cookies?
Well, okay, so my website is sugarandchipaz.com. And then my Instagram and Facebook are at sugarandchipaz. It's pretty easy as that. You can look at all the stuff on my website, the menu, about me, questions, all that good stuff.
Do you do custom orders and stuff like that too, or do you only
I do cookie cakes, like decorated cookie cakes?
Love
and
it.
Like that. So yeah, I do all that.
Love it. Very, very exciting. All right, you guys, I will drop all of those links and goods in the show notes so that you guys have easy access to that. And if you guys are in the local area, hit her up at some of these markets, you know, like, because she's going to start sending some emails soon. So, you know, when she gets that up, get on her email list so you can find out what market she's going to be at. And then you go give her a hey, girl, hey, and say that you found her through me. I do know actually a good amount of people out there. So, like, hey, you guys go let her know. You say, hey, girl, hey, and she's going to know exactly who sent you. All right, right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you guys next time.